you're stepping into being a songwriter and a producer. You meet Pink. Pink has dropped an album, but she isn't Pink yet. You end up writing and producing Get This Party Started, which changes Pink's life, puts her in the stratosphere of her career. So how did you start working with Pink?
That was just a really random, crazy phone call I got from her. Some girl named Pink, I've tracked you down. I stole your number out of my makeup artist's, phone. And, I want you to, sing on I'm working on a new album. I want you to sing on it. And I'm like, and she was like, if I found your number, I could find out where you live, like it was like that. And
kind of crazy.
I'm like going, who is Pink? And then I'm like walking around my house, MTV's on, and I see this pink-haired girl, and I stop to watch it. And now the name's not on there yet. You know how it does pink and whatever. So I'm just watching this pink-haired girl with a motorcycle outfit, singing about bling bling, ching ching on like a motorcycle, and then it's over, and I'm like waiting for it, like, is that Pink? And then it says Pink, and I'm like going, oh, and so I call her back. I'm like, hi, is this Pink? And she's like, yeah. I go, this is Linda Perry. I said, I think you have the wrong Linda Perry. I'm not hip at all. And that's what I say to her. And she's like, oh, is this Linda Perry from Four Non Blondes? And you wrote Dear Mr. President? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, I got the right Linda Perry. And I had just written Get the Party Started as a joke. So I just wrote that as a joke. It was a total joke song because I'm an analog girl. So what I learned from Bill was analog, and so all the gear I bought was all like Fairchilds and Pultex. Sick. And I have my drums, my amps, and I am a hoarder when it comes to instruments. I have so much shit. I have equivalent to a music store, right? And so
I've seen the garage.
So I'm like going, I asked a producer friend of mine, I'm like, what is that sound that I'm hearing on everything? Like that pop sound. And he's like, oh, I can tell you exactly. There's like 3 or 4 things people are using. Okay, what are they? Triton keyboard, the Roland expansion cards. There's all a bunch of sound. I'm like, what is that? He's like, it's just, think of it as a bunch of samples. And you can trigger it, with the, your MIDI keyboard. I'm like, what's a MIDI keyboard? And he's like looking at me. He's like, it's the MIDI keyboard that, he's like, just plug it into your Triton and it will act as a MIDI keyboard. I'm like, okay. And what's next? And he said an MPC. I'm like, what is that? He's like, that's where all the drum samples are. And there's these big pads and you just, record your beat. And I'm like, interesting. And I'm like, and there was a 4th thing. It was I want to say bass Taurus pedal, but it wasn't the one. It was like a little guy. Yeah, I can't remember the pedal, but it was a keyboard, but it was only for bass.
Yeah.
I'm like,
it was like a monophonic,
something like that, right? So I get all those things. I go to my room in my studio. I plug everything in. And I'm like, interesting. And I'm pushing on the MPC, and he gives me some of his cards. He's like, just put this disc in, and it'll give you sounds. I'm like, great, thank you. So I'm like, that's the first beat. And I figure out how to record. Okay, there it goes. It's going all on its own. All right. Now I don't have Pro Tools or any computer. I'm just running through D88 at that time, because I'm in my simplified gear. So that's rolling. I'll just let that go for 3.5 minutes, and I'm just letting that beat go, right? So I'm like, and I go the Triton, and I find some percussions, and it's like, oh, bongos. So I just start playing to, the bongos on that, and it's like, okay. And that's just all live, cause again, I don't know how to edit, cause now I'm just playing it live and, whatever. And then I'm like, okay, I need a bass. And I try that bass, but I didn't like it. So I just pick up my bass and I play doom, 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 doom. And I'm like, okay, great. 3.5, minutes. I'm just playing that riff over and over. And then, it's like, so over and all this stuff. And then
Yeah.
I get some strings and some weird on the Roland expansion, and the Triton has weird like I'm just finding like a weird clavinet. Like it's just weird. I'm just finding melodies, and now the song, and I get my guitar, and like, oh, I need wah wah, so I put the and then I get find fake horns on the Roland. I'm all, and then I'm like going, this is so fun. And so now I pick up my bullet microphone. Let's see, this a harmonica microphone. I'm like, okay, just think of every cliche you can think of, and I'm like going, get the party started. And then I just made up the fucking words. Like, I have never, stunner, number one, superstar. Like, all these words are just coming to me. And I'm like laughing, going, holy shit, I just wrote a fucking dance hit. I'm like blown away by how brilliant I am in my stupidity. And I'm just doing this as a joke, I'm just like, it's a joke. I'm just like saying it in this weird character as a joke, and all the stuff that I just did was a joke, and in that joke I just wrote get party started, and I make a mix of it, put it on my DAT. I go, transfer it to a CD. I'm like, okay, I got a hit right here. So one of the things a lot of people don't know is I sent this song. I have to back up because it's actually important. I always skip this piece because it really ended up being with who it's supposed to be. But I had met Madonna in this club. So I'm seeing her. I'm beelined on her because that's my well. That's my,
for sure.
That's the one I want, right? So I'm looking at her, and I walk up to her, and I'm like, do you believe in seizing the opportunity? And she's like, of course I do. And I say, my name's Linda Perry. And she's like, I know who you are. And so right there, I was like, oh,
wow,
Madonna knows who I am.
Wow.
I'm like, I wrote this song, and I would love to send it to you. So she's like, well, do you know Guy? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, well, send it. And I'm like, amazing. So I send it to Guy Oseary.
Yeah.
So Guy responds back, this is not for Madonna. And I'm like, okay, no problem. So then that's when I take it, I'm going to go meet Pink. And so I'm like, maybe I'll just bring it and give it to her. So we meet, we got along amazing. And she's like, again, maybe write a song, sing backgrounds. I'm like, whatever. So I give her the song. I actually brought you the song that I wrote. I don't even know what I would do with something like this. It's like, it's not me at all. I'm never going to record this song. So I give it to her. I get a call back from her 2 days later. It's like, okay, L.A. Reid says my first single. And I'm like, awesome. Cool. And so then she wants to write more with me. And I never meant to produce or anything. Like,
sure,
they're all demos.
Wow.
And so we just like wrote 15 songs. They picked 7 of them that she picked 7 of them that she liked. And I got fired in the process because L.A. Reid thought I was taking her way too far. And I'm like, you're crazy. This girl, it's like, I asked him point blank, how many fans does she have? How many records does she sell? He's like, almost 2 million. I'm like, well, she may lose those 2 million, but she's going to sell 10 million records.
Yeah.
And Alicia was like looking at me, and I bet her a Bentley. I said, I bet you a Bentley, which you fucking owe me, still, that this record is going to do 10 million and plus. She had no idea.
Wow.
And then she got teamed up with Scott Storch, and he did some really great songs, Dallas Austin, and the song, Get the Party Started blows the up.
Blows up.
And she, I think, sold 12, 13 million records on that album.
Yeah. Where's the Bentley?
Yeah. Where is my Bentley? Alicia Moore.
You can send it to the studio house. It doesn't have to be the living house.
So anyways, so it was like that really kind of really blew things up.
Off your joke song.
off my joke song. But then the songs we wrote together are really great. I mean, she was amazing to work with because then like I would just like go, all right, so she's like, well, how are we going to write? I'm like, well, I'm going to play anything that randomly is going to come to me. And then you're just going to start singing. And she's like, but I have no words. I'm like, exactly. You're just going to sing. You're just going to feel this out. So there was this song called Eventually that still to this day is one of the most, so there was this song called Eventually that still to this day is one of the most beautiful songs. And I start playing the chords and she's like, you know, at first a little hesitant. And then I just looked at her and she closes her eyes and she ad-libbed to the T every word, every melody.
Amazing.
Song done. And maybe we had to punch in a couple flubs. But it was like, and she was like, I've never done that before. I'm like, well, that's what I'm talking about. There's a whole world going on in you that you have no idea about. And the only way to discover it is by just letting it come out and not try to control your words. And that's how we wrote the rest of the song.
Let's go.